The red-headed assassin, Vana.
Hey.
What genre would you say that you're in, or how do you class your music?
Horrorcore.
Whore?
Horrorcore.
Like W-H?
Oh, yeah.
Like whore. Like your mum's a whore.
Is that actually like a thing, or have you made that up?
I just made that up.
I
just
love
now.
that.
Thank you.
That's so good.
I make like pop metal.
For people who have not heard your music, if you could only recommend one song, what would you recommend?
Well, oh jeez. Noxious.
Okay, nice.
It's my favorite song. What are some of the craziest fan interactions you've had?
Oh, yeah. Some people are just like incredibly inappropriate.
Mm.
And I think it's like, I understand like being excited and trying to be unique when you meet an artist. But at the end of the day, the best impression you're going to make is by being polite and treating people like they're human beings and not a prop to capitalize off of.
Do you think people are weird mainly because of like the subject matter in some of your songs, and they think that they have this like divine right to come up to you and just speak to you a certain way?
Yeah, I think immediately people think like it's okay for me to ask me to like stand on them and stuff. I'm like, that's funny, but not in this context.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know? Like if my friend was like, oi, that'd be funny as if we got a photo and literally I was like, yeah, it's funny. But like in this context, it's like if you are getting any sort of like weird pleasure out of that, like it just does not feel right. And the worst is like when you say no and then they're like, why not? I'm like, because well, maybe I just don't want to.
Is it mainly guys or is it girls as well?
Both.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that because of that, like, what did you call it? Pop whore? Is that what you call the genre?
Horrorcore.
Horrorcore. Because of that genre, is that like do your fans typically like that kind of thing more than like others?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely. I think it provides people who are into that a safe space, a safe listening space.
Yeah.
But it's also important to understand that I am still a stranger,
100%.
and I'm incredibly moved when someone tells me like other songs that are not so raunchy. Or like this song like really helped me through a tough time, or this song, you know, like that's awesome because it's cool. Like you get the equal vibes of, or like this song made me discover this part of myself that I didn't even know I enjoyed. I'm like, that's sick. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
But like, I am not there for your pleasure. I am there to write music and for you to consume and enjoy.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you're creating art. You're not there to like be their toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it happens a lot with artists and stuff. Like, I know of a lot of artists that I've looked up to have like people stop doing meet and greets because people get weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it because I also freak out when I meet people who I really look up to. And I get it, but like, I'm just like, hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Rather than like, can you please give me a wedgie?
Yeah.
Like,
Did
bro.
someone actually ask you to do that?
Nah. Please, no one ask
yeah,
me.
if you're listening, please.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nah. I don't want to put any attention to the people who have, because I think usually it's to get a reaction.
Yeah,
And, you
so
know?
they're trying to get some clip for social media or
Yeah.
something.
It's kind of like an unfortunate byproduct of social media these days. Like you can feel so close to your favorite artist, eh? Like you're kind of like, it feels like you're just a phone screen away and you know so much about them and you know their likes and dislikes. And then so when you see them in person, sometimes it's like, oh, this is so normal for me to like be like this with you and like, you know, put out my like thoughts and feelings. But sometimes, yeah, there's no boundaries. Yeah. You said earlier that when you find out that fans like your music that isn't necessarily as like raunchy and it's the more kind of like softer side, do you enjoy writing that music more so? Do you have like a favorite?
Yeah. I think that I'm definitely, I used a lot of the songs I wrote about, like all the raunchy ones. It's so like shock.
Yeah.
They're shock value. It's funny. And it's also super fun and empowering. And it's putting on this performance and it's great and it's awesome. But I think I'm very excited to mature my sound and to write about, you know, things and get more vulnerable and put things in a more like meaningful way. And that doesn't mean that like sexuality isn't meaningful, but it can be presented in a different way, and I'm very excited to present. You know, I'm excited to, you know, and I think having shock value and everything is it's the easiest way to get people's attention.
Yeah.
So I've got their attention. Now it's time to cry.
Yeah, nice. Well, it's time to evolve.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your fans will be like accepting of that. Are you working on new music at the moment?
Indeed.
Exciting.
Yes.
New album?
Yes. My first album.
How
We got
good.
exclusive. Vana is working on new album.
When roughly do you think the world will be hearing it?
I wish I knew. I wish
When
I
it's
knew.
done.
Yeah. When it's done. Because, like, it's awkward. Because it's like, I want to spend a lot of time on it. And then by the time I get back from tour, it's going to be, like, August. And then I need to release it before Christmas. Because the Christmas curse of releasing music, you never want to release too close to Christmas. So it gives you that long. And then it's like, I would love to, with my album, have like a visual album as well. I'd like to film all the videos. I'd like it all to kind of have this vision. I want it all to kind of be like a movie. And like each one you could stitch together and then you could watch it all the way through. Yeah.
That's
Continuous story.
Yeah, yeah.
Music videos and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I have
That's
a whole
such a
plot
cool
and
idea.
everything.
It's such a cool idea. It's been a bit of a topic of conversation with some of our recent chats about like the medium of music and music videos and whether they're like a dying art. And there's so many people, like they're definitely not a dying art. There's so many people that still appreciate it. But I feel like if you can successfully tie music and visuals, like you're onto a winner. Like, and it sets you apart too, because not everyone's focusing on.
It's because it's expensive.
It's very
So expensive, but it doesn't have to be as well. There's ways to work around that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that there's a difference between making a performance video, which has its own, it really has its own benefits. Like the performance video I did for Beg, so funny.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's hilarious. It's camp, and it gets people's attention, and it's just like it's fun to see like the vision for the song. But then there's, you know, videos that I want to do, which are plot driven and story based, and there's things hidden. There's Easter eggs that maybe only 5 people will like understand, but that's fine because it's like that's what I want to do. That's what I want to put out.
Love that.
Yeah.
Did you work like is this community something that's just evolved naturally, or did you really like put in the work to create it through streaming and stuff?
I put in the work because I just knew that, like, I think a lot of people get confused and say like, oh, so you wanted to be like an influencer and then musician. It's like, no, music has always been the goal. I just knew that there's so many musicians. I need to have an audience to give my art to.
Yeah.
And I need there to be more investment. And, you know, I think that there's ways to get a community by them discovering your music. But I think that it's harder because there are so many amazing musicians, and it's so hard to get your music heard when there's so many amazing songs, and you have to learn how to put it in its best position to be heard by the most amount of people that you think will like it. And so like doing my videos on TikTok and Twitch streaming and doing everything like that, it's like, it's also because I just love to yap and I'm an oversharer, and I constantly want to be working towards my goal, and that was the easiest way to do it. It wasn't easy at all, but it was the most, like, that's what I saw. That I saw this path of like, I need to build this community and give them my songs and hear what they say, and you know, it's like a direct feedback. And yeah,
I think that's so smart, and it's cool to hear because I mean, not that I'm an artist myself, but like I feel like a lot of artists are kind of just making their music and they're putting it out in the world and they're just waiting for one to stick and just waiting for that like community to build itself. But you've kind of like orchestrated it from the other way around. Which
well, it's like with social media, you can, like, a song can just blow up, but it's harder and it's a lot more rare. So it's like it might take longer to build that community first, but it will work. It's worth it when you have that solid community who like are day ones, or like, I would say it's better to have 10 listeners that listen to your song every day and add your song to a playlist than 1,000 listeners that hear it once. Like that's who you need to focus on, those 10 listeners.
Yeah.
And then from there, like, they will want to share, because it's like when I find a cool artist, I'm like, oh, listen to this, you know. It's like people want to share what they're into, and so if you put that time into those people, they will put that time back into you. Fuck you, music industry.
I know social media is like easily a full-time job. Do you struggle with
Fuck
keeping
yeah.
that up? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much to do. It's like, and I don't want to complain because this is the life I dreamed of. But it is very draining, and it's like streaming for like 7 hours 3 times a week, and then I need to write music as well, and then I gotta like make a bunch of videos, and the cycle repeats and continues and repeats. And it doesn't sound like much, but like holy shit, making like a 30-second TikTok, if it's not just like a funny one where you're like, like if you're making one of those like editing everything and you know, and you want everything to look a certain way, and if you're very particular, it can take so much longer.
Now that like over the past few years your music has like properly popped off, how do you navigate around social situations and like people coming in and trying to build genuine relationships? How
It's
do you know
hard.
if people are genuine?
Yeah, it's really hard. I think there's a saying that's always said, which I don't want to say because it makes me sound like a fucking asshole, but it's like people always say it's lonely at the top, because
Yeah.
that's what people, it's lonely at the top, bro, you know. But I think it's true. It's like when you start doing something that like a lot of people dream about doing, and you start making a full-time living out of it, like it does get lonely. And it's not only because like it's like a lot of people make friends in their adult life through work colleagues.
Yeah.
And I think that living in New Zealand, in Auckland, and there not being a massive community where you just like go over to studio and do this and do that, or at least that I'm part of, in the heavier scene, it is very isolating. And I think there's a reason why a lot of musicians are friends with a lot of musicians or creatives. And it's because I think a lot of people struggle to wrap their heads around like what you do for a job, and I think a lot of people think that it doesn't take effort, and they're like, oh, you're just a musician or something, and it's like, I work 17-hour days at home, you know, and there's also like that part of it too. It's like I'm so committed to this that you lose time for making those connections and meeting new people and putting that time into making a new friendship, because it is important to put all that time in. And if you feel like you can't give someone that time, it's like it's hard. It's really hard to do that. And I think just in general, like becoming an adult is so interesting, making new colleagues, unless you're like seeing them all the time, again, in work context. Whenever I'm in LA, in the States, I think the scene there is huge. So it's like meeting people during tour is awesome. Meeting people like through recording, and you know, I've met so many people through like I did a session here, and then they're like, oh, my friends are doing a gig, like let's go there, go to the gig, meet them, you know, and that's really cool. But I feel like that only starts happening when you have something to bring to the table as well. Like when you have proved that you've worked hard enough and that you have a following and a fandom and a base, and you know, people are like, okay, like, you know, you can hang with us. No, not even in that way, but it's just like when I think that there's a different attitude. This is a huge one. The attitude of someone who is not insecure about their project and their art, they will treat you with such like welcoming, and like they will want to help, and they will want to like, they're like, I remember one time I went to a party and I was talking to a girl, and she ended up being this like huge musician, and she was like, oh yeah, like I was telling her, I was like, this is way back 2 years ago.
Was this in New Zealand or in the States?
This is in the States. And I was like, I want to do this and that and that. And she was like, oh dude, like go, like here's a couple of my producers, like you should work with them, and you know, come to my Halloween party, like I'm doing a party tomorrow night, come to the house. And you know, like or like another artist who I'm friends with, she sent me all of her producers that she worked with, and you know, it's such a bit like a yes, do this, because it's like it doesn't feel like there's not enough to go around. And it's not scarce there, because the scene is so big and it's booming, and it's like just because someone listens to one artist doesn't mean that, you know, like having a competition, you're not going to steal those fans. They will still listen to you. They will listen to both of you. It doesn't work like that. It's not like you can only listen to one artist at a time. But I found that the people who are really secure about their project are so helpful and so loving and so like welcoming and want to be friends. Whereas I feel like when someone isn't, and they're not too sure where to go, when other people kind of try to work with them, it's very like, oh, I'm not going to give you my producer's name.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give
They
you...
see it as like a threat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, that's not how it should be. But I think that is just like a human thing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to not be that way. And I have to admit, like, when I was, you know, really unsure where I was going, I would look at a lot of artists with such envy and be like, oh my God, like, I wish I could just be like that. You know, but it's like, you can, you just work. You will get there. And, you know, you don't compare your progress to someone else's progress because it's so different.
Everyone's path is different.
It's so different.
How did you learn to scream? Did you have someone coach you?
Nah.
Did you just...
YouTube.
Wow.
And practice. And I'm still learning, which is great.
Yeah.
Still learning. Can always learn. It's like a muscle you build.
That's, yeah.
You learn what not to do,
Yeah, true.
and then you do it.
I always wonder how like metal musicians that like scream properly like do like a 30-day tour.
Yeah, I know.
But I feel like your
It's-
voice is gonna be absolutely destroyed.
If you're not doing it right, and even if you are doing it right, you can just have wrong technique one night or one song,
and you're just gone.
and you're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's why people go on like vocal rest and stuff. You have to.
Just don't talk to anyone.
Totally. I listened to a Bring Me interview once, and Ollie was like, yeah, I have like lemon and ginger honey teas and all this like stuff backstage, which is kind of
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like not even a joke.
Yeah.
Like you actually have to look after it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't warm up before shows and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? What are
Yeah.
you doing, man?
We had an idea of reading out some random or wild DMs that you have received.
Oh yeah. Oh
like-
yeah, here we go. I got a good one.
Okay.
I got a good one. This is, by the way, 4th message down.
Oh my God.
This account has 1 follower and 0 posts.
Oh no.
Hi, absolute goddess. Do you like money and to humiliate white beta males who have a tiny wiener? Please. Also, sorry if my spelling sucks sometimes. I'm French, by the way.
What?
I'm French, by the way. Oh, makes so much
Oh,
sense.
I bet it has a tiny wieners.
What? I actually thought it was like one of those spam messages that you get. Like, do you
Yeah.
want $5,000 deposited into your spam account until you said the bit about tiny
No, these are
wiener?
real
That's
people.
a real
Oh my
human.
god.
I
Do
mean,
you ever respond to them?
No. No. Hi. Do you accept the challenge of lifting against me on shoulders press with dumbbells of 20 kg? Win who does more reps alone without spotter. If you beat me, I will pay you €300.
What?
What? I don't even know what they're trying to ask.
I'm so intrigued though. I like, what do they really think that the next steps from there are going to be? You're like, yeah, pick a gym, we'll meet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Midnight tonight.
Yo,
Straps on.
I love tiny wieners. Like, yeah, sick.
Like, there's actually so much admin involved in that second request too. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, let's do it right now. You're like, let me get in the car,
€300 would be kind of sweet though.
drive to
Yeah.
wherever
It's
you
like
are.
$500.
You know what we should do one day? We should reply to these people and then turn up with cameras and video them and be like Ashton Kutcher punch.
Hey, my name is Chris Hansen. Why don't you take a seat? This one's funny.
How do you
It
pick
says,
which ones to open?
Are you supposed to be? And then I was on the 15th of December. And then today at 3:46 p.m. Are you supposed to be? I cannot make this up.
Bro, it's supposed to be what?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of scared.
Does curiosity not get the better of you? Like, I'd be like, be what? Finish your sentence.
Be what?
I so want
Are
to
you
know.
supposed
To
to
be or
be.
not to be? On
Yeah,
God.
on God type shit.
Oh my god. Some people just have a whole lot of confidence there.
You know what? You kind of got to respect the confidence sometimes.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, stop being weirdos.
I'm like scared to call the dentist and book an appointment. Like,
This one says, "Mommy, will you be open to spitting on me?" I don't understand.
But you get nice messages in your DMs too,
Oh,
right?
I'm scrolling through all the nice ones to
Yeah,
get to
okay.
the weird ones.
That's
Most
good.
of them
that's
are
nice.
like, "Oh my god, I love this song," or like, "I can't wait to see you in this. I
Yay.
love you. This is so nice." And I'm like, "Ah, it's so
And then
nice."
there's like one in every
Wow.
like 30 is like, spit on me.
Yeah,
Are you supposed to be?
it's like, bro, if you send me that, just know that I think that I never ever want to see you in my life, and that you should never come to a show, and that you should never listen to my
Yo,
music.
you
I
should-
don't want. Can you unfollow me? Because you're fucking
Is
weird.
that person got a private account? You should ban them from the show. Blacklist them.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's still giving them attention.
True.
This is the thing, right? You can't do anything because it's always someone's fetish.
Yeah.
You say, stop doing that. That's weird. They're like, oh my God.
They're like, that's what
Just
I
give me
wanted.
attention. You know? Sometimes my favorite thing is I get added into people's group chats. It was so funny. I love it. I get added into people's group chats all the time.
Like, what are they talking about?
Just like anything.
Just like a regular friend group
Yeah,
chat.
this one time I was added to one for ages. I got real invested. I was reading everything. Well, one where I asked this girl out, and like this one guy was like super into this girl, and like he was like always been like, bro, like look how like send screenshots of her, bro, look how fine she is, and everyone was like, bro, just fucking ask her out. I was so invested, and it was like, I'm gonna ask her out today, boys. Oh, I didn't do it. I was scared. Like, I'm like, what's happening?
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Wait, are you still in that group chat?
Probably. It has
You
not been
gotta find
active.
it
I wonder if
again.
there was like
You
a
gotta
friendship
find it.
fallout or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, if that was your group chat, I hope you asked her out. and
Add
I
me
hope
to your
you
group
guys are
chats.
together.
I will read them. I will not reply.
Do you think you got added by mistake? I actually
No,
need to go.
People just add their favorite artists
Because
because you can add them. It's no guarantee that they'll see it.
Well, on that note, we can probably wrap it up there.
Hey, Vana, is your favorite cartoon SpongeBob?
Yeah, it's pretty up there.
Yeah, you say so?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, don't look. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty up there.
Okay, yeah.